All right, my dudes. So right now we're gonna go into how to cool down in your session. So we had some videos talking about the warm-up phase, the main session. Now we're gonna talk about the cool down phase of your whole session. So essentially what I was explaining in one of the other videos about how to make the perfect session is pretty much understanding that there's, you know, an intention that that can be placed to every phase of the session so that you get the most out of it. The warm-up phase, that intention has to do with making sure that you're waking up your body, you know, the blood is flowing, and you know, you pretty much are having an assessment of what's going to work in the middle session. In the middle session, it's pretty much about making sure you start off with tricks that are going to build confidence and end with a challenge or something that that is pretty much fine-tuning or refining, I would say, your bag of tricks. For the cooling down session, it's pretty much, it could be, you know, we can look at it as a mirrored session to the warm-up, but the difference is you're going to be trying tricks that are a bit more playful that you don't usually do. So for example, if you're someone who does a lot of back 180s or back 3s very comfortably, or something like a 50-50, frontside 50-50 very comfortably, maybe on your cool down you'll play around with doing frontside 360s or backside 50s, you know, just to switch things up and also explore different tricks in skateboarding. So today we're here at Silverado skate park in Long Beach, and I'm just going to be doing tricks that I don't usually do in my warm-up, but I can do, and there's always room to explore with them, right? So we're going to start off by skating the hip. You know, this is not something I really skate, but it's also something that isn't very taxing, and and it's pretty safe to do even when I'm cooling down. So the intention isn't to get into a battle with cooling down. It's all fun and games, exploring, getting creative, and you know, pretty much placing the intention to wind down the sesh, right? So we call it the cooling down phase. And so right now, I'm gonna go back and forth skating this pyramid. Okay. Oh my God! Oh. Okay. So point is, with these tricks, they're not something that should be very challenging. They're not something that you already did in your warm-up. They're tricks that you kind of just didn't think about doing in your warm-up or haven't done in a long time. One of those was like an alley-oop frontside 180. Another one was front shove it. For whatever reason, I kind of don't do front shove it, but it is a trick I have. And you know, maybe while I'm cooling down, I can't do a frontside big spin, but I can still pretty much play around with the very, you know, fundamental version of a frontside big spin, which is just a frontside pop. So this just allows me to pretty much make sure I'm using certain.
Hello.
What's up, JJ? This is JJ, guys. Say hi.
Hello.
We did a lesson earlier, but we finished up.
This is my coach, Carlos.
Hey, so what were you doing to cool down, like after the main session? What were you playing around with, having fun?
I was playing around with Kaylee and you doing game of skate.
There we go. Did it feel stressful, like you were being challenged a little bit?
Yeah. Because you're doing like heel flips.
Oh yeah, I was not taking it easy on him.
Flips.
But the point is, it was fun, right?
And you were doing like switch stuff. Some of it I landed, but some was so hard.
Yeah, so the point is to kind of keep it easy, you know, make sure we're cooling down. Thanks, JJ. Appreciate you, man. This guy was learning board slides today. Okay, and yeah, you gotta cool down. So, you know, it doesn't mean we stay to only one obstacle, even though sometimes when you're cooling down, you kind of just, you know, end it on one. Today, I'm just gonna give you different examples and different obstacles. We'll do 3. That was one. Second one is this. Usually when I come to the skate park, I'll do maybe like a nose grind on it, back 50-50, but you know, I won't really try any silly tricks like a switch 50 or switch 50. So today I'm gonna play around with that right here. All right. Or then I'll do this. Actually, I do this trick a lot. Oh, that was scary. I do that trick a lot, but for a long time, it was something I only did in my cool down phase because, but it eventually became a warm up. So these tricks don't have to stay in one phase. You know, it's basically just a way to explore different tricks, right? So the first one, it gets you refining tricks. Sorry, the first one, it gets you just getting the blood flowing. The second one gets you refining tricks, and the third one has you exploring tricks that you already know how to do, but you, for whatever reason, you just, you know, kind of avoid them, right? It gives you an opportunity to make sure you're still, you know,
creative. Creative.
Yeah, staying creative, but also having a large bag of tricks, and it just kind of gives you an extra, like, an extra intention to skate a little more. You know, sometimes, many times actually, I build this habit of as soon as I land a difficult trick or as soon as I challenge myself and get burnt out, I'm done for the session. But I found that there was so much more I can do in a cool down session if that was a part of my skateboarding. So anyways, I'm gonna do this one just because I need to redeem myself. This is one of them where it was not going fast enough. But half cat 50, that's funny. Okay, and with all of these, I don't even think I locked in right. But with all of these, it's not like you have to stay in one trick or land them perfectly, especially if it's the warm up or the cool down. You know what I mean? But this is the second obstacle. What do you think the third? Oh, the little curb right there. Usually I never skate that curb. When I'm warming up a little bit, but not really. And so in a cool down session, I already did what I wanted to do at the park. Now I'm gonna go explore different obstacles that I wouldn't skate. One of them is this curb ledge. I'm gonna board slide it. Zach.
Oh!
So then now, you know, I might be going back and forth. On this one, I'm just do like board slide fakie. I never do that warm up or main set.
Oh!
You got that? Oh.
I think so, I'm not sure.
Yeah, another one right here, look. 50-50, front 780, alley-oop. We'll try that one. Even though that's the third option.
Oh.
Okay, so point is, we're having fun, we're cooling down. There's not so much pressure on the tricks you're doing in this cool down phase. Similarly to the warm-up phase, we talked about the 3-trick method with warm-up. Don't do a trick or don't attempt the trick more than 3 tries, even if you didn't land it. And so that just helps you stay focused on the goal. For warm-up, it's warming up. For this one, you don't really need to try the 3 trick method, but just try tricks that are fun and it has you exploring.
Cooling down with creativity.
What's up? Cooling down with creativity. There we go. Perfect, Brian. That's perfect. Yeah, you want to cool down. You already used up a lot of your adrenaline, a lot of your cortisol and all that stuff. Don't burn your adrenals out and stuff. Cool down with creativity. I think we're gonna end it on that. That's pretty good. So having said that, make sure if you want to have me elaborate more on this, just leave in the comments, you know, something you want me to explain a bit better, or just go a little more in detail. Clearly I need to get out of the skateboard. But yeah, we'll see you on the next video. You can check other videos that I've done already. I already covered warming up, the main session, and the cool down session, but there's also a video talking about the whole concept as a whole. I really need to finish. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video before I start saying anything else. Peace out.